In the past, I have compared the shifting fortunes of Lyle and Eric Menendez to the stock market. One day they look like shoo-ins for resentencing or for a new trial or outright release from prison, and then the next day, seems like they're right back where they started. And tonight, it looks like their prospects are again bleak. Lyle and Eric admitted that they shotgunned their parents to death in 1989 after years of sexual abuse. But if they were a stock, you might consider cutting your losses and selling quick. But they're not a stock, they're people. And they're not exactly back to square one either. They did get new and lighter sentences back in May, and that gave them a shot at parole, where there had not been one before. But each brother was denied parole less than a month ago, and now they've just been delivered some equally disheartening news, if you're them. They were appealing to have their convictions tossed out and hopefully getting a new trial, right? But a California judge has just rejected that habeas corpus petition. And with it, evidence that the brothers claim proves that their dead father, Jose, sexually abused them. The evidence wasn't allowed at the trial that ended in guilty verdicts in 1996. So what happens now? Neama Rahmani is a former federal prosecutor, current president of the West Coast Trial Lawyers. Neama, it's good to have you. This is one of those things where you can even follow this story all the time and still wonder, like, where are we with this case? There's so many different developments. But what happens now that they've been told no parole for you and you can't have a new trial either? Is that the end of the road?
It's not the end of the road, but things are looking bleak. Look, the fact that they were even this close to being released when they faced a death sentence in their original trial is really a testament to their lawyers and their PR team. But now that the habeas petition has been denied, and the reason it was denied is even if the brothers were abused, and I believe that they were, it's not a license to kill. You can't use deadly force under California law when your parents are watching TV and eating ice cream by shooting them in the back of the head. So they're going to appeal to the California appellate courts and go through the federal habeas route as well. But really, their best chance here is parole. And I know their next parole date is 3 years out. I'm sure they're going to try to advance it to the 18-month mark. But that's really the best bet. And of course, there's always the slight possibility that Governor Gavin Newsom can commute their sentence. But I can't see that happening in today's political climate.
Well, and I'm going to talk to you about that in a hot second, today's political climate and maybe the next governor's political climate if there's another governor after Newsom. But hold that thought for 1 second, because I want to go back to the habeas. It's a fancy word for, basically they wanted a new trial. They wanted to get rid of the result that put them where they are right now and have a brand new trial based on how we are today. Juries today might see things differently, and maybe they would fare better. They didn't get parole. They didn't get habeas. And I'm thinking, can you explain to the viewers why those two efforts worked in cross purposes with each other? One was really hammering away at the other and making each of these different attempts less worthy. Can you explain why that was?
So in the habeas case, the brothers were arguing self-defense, that they were at imminent risk of death or serious bodily injury. And they killed their father, Jose, and they killed their mother, Kitty, because they thought that they would be killed if they outed them for the abuse. Now, in the parole hearing, the new district attorney, Nathan Hochman, really pointed to the fact that the brothers hadn't accepted responsibility. They were still arguing that they engaged in self-defense when really they wanted to probably get revenge against their parents for sexually abusing them and not protecting them. So they were trying to preserve the habeas petition, which was denied recently, while they were still pursuing the parole application. And the DA pounded on the fact during that parole hearing, saying, listen, these two, they haven't accepted responsibility. They haven't even said why they did it. It's not self-defense. And that's something that the parole commissioners pointed to when they denied their petitions.
You can't have it both ways. Either you're sorry for what you did and you beg for parole, or you're not sorry because you didn't do what they say you're doing and you're trying to get that new trial. So I get it. Talk to me now about this whole last Hail Mary, which is the governor who can pardon them. Gavin Newsom, I always thought, was going to wait to hear what the parole board said so that he'd have some political cover. I don't think this is a liberal or conservative issue, though. So if Gavin Newsom's the governor after the next election, or if someone else is the governor after the next election, how does that bode for the Menendez boys?
Actually, I agree with you completely. Look, Governor Gavin Newsom ordered the risk assessment in this case before the brothers were even deemed parole board eligible. I was one of those talking heads that predicted that they would be out. I was wrong. So if the parole board had recommended release, I think Eric and Lyle Menendez would be free by now. But now the governor would have to overturn the parole board's recommendation. Ultimately, it's his decision. It's just a recommendation. But it's no secret here in California that the governor is going to run for the Oval Office in 2028. And I can't see him sticking his political neck out to free the Menendez brothers right now. But regardless of how you feel, this is a very polarizing case. There's many people who are watching who believe that they've served enough time. They're victims of sex abuse. They rose up against their abusers. And others who think they're stone cold killers who should be put away for the rest of their life. So I don't think the governor is going to soft on
you
crime.
gain as many voters as you lose on that one, so that makes sense. Neama, always good to see you. Thank you for this.
Of course, Ashley. Talk to you soon.